Hello fellow colorists, welcome back to the channel, J.I. Colorist. Today is Whimsical Wednesday and I am happy to be back working in my book by Rory Dobner called The Ink House. This is not a coloring book, but we are coloring the pages in it. It's a beautifully illustrated book, and today we are working on something that starts with a W. So we are going to be working on a page that I have already done the background on, and we are going to be working on the watches. So these are pocket watches, and I have already done the background with rubbed on dry gelato. So this is a dusty purple color, probably a little bit hard to see on screen, but it is a very muted purple and more like a dusty lavender. And then this bottom here I have done in a nice brown. So the items on the page that aren't completed is this bottom area here, which I will probably do later off camera. The owl still needs to be done, but like I said, today's W word is watch, and we will be working on these. Now tomorrow is March 14th, so that's 3/14, and that is actually National Pi Day. So 3/14 is the number pi, and I thought it was kind of fitting that we were close to that day since we are working on watches. So I thought that was kind of tied in a little bit to what's happening tomorrow in the world. Today is Wednesday the 13th though. So let's first start off with trying to identify what colors. I've got 3 watches to do. So I could have one silver, one gold, one bronze kind of deal, or I thought what I might do is 1 bronze, gold, and 2 silver. I would like to maybe do a warm silver and a cool silver just to see the differences in that. And I plan on using, to help me do that, I'll drop the camera a bit and we'll go over the supplies that I have here on hand with me today. I'll let you also know that we will be doing our trivia today from the game I Should Have Known That. So we'll be doing at least 2 cards of that today. So that'll be 8 questions. So just thought I'd prepare you now. This is my Blick Studio gray set. So I've got a whole selection of warm grays from here. So there are 2, 4, 6 of those. And then I also have cool grays here, all the way to cool gray 8, or cool gray 9, sorry. So there's 2, 4, 6 there as well. So I'm going to be using 2 different sets of grays, but I also thought I would pull out, I've got the Blick Studio pencil, the 71 or 72 set. And so there is a bronze and a silver and a gold, I should say, in that selection. And there's also quite a few browns that I can use to make gold. So I don't really usually like just to use plain gold. I've also got some Staedtler metallic pens, and I've also got your standard gel pens. So I just thought I'd quickly go over the ones that I might think about using, and I want to swatch them out first rather than going direct to paper. Okay, here we are all swatched out with our possible colors. We've got bronze gold up here. We've got silver gray here with the cool grays swatched here, the warm grays swatched here. And then we've got this is the metallic Blick silver pencil. This is the Staedtler pigment. So it's the Staedtler metallic pen. It's not metallic at all. I'm not happy with those pens at all. So I doubt that I'm going to be using probably either the gold or the silver in this. In fact, I'll just put them away so I don't reach for them. This one here, this swatch here, is the Signo gel pen, and it's quite reflective. So that would be good for maybe some fine details like the hands of the clock. And then this bottom piece here, which is sparkly, is the Stardust Jelly Roll Clear Glaze. And it's silver sparkle basically that would add it. So those are all my possible items that I can use. These are the watches that I'm going to do. Okay. I will also show you on screen the trivia card when I do it, and at the end of this video I will show you the trivia card and then the answers on the next slide, just so that you have those in case my enunciation is not great on some of the words. It's nice to actually have them for you. Okay, let's start on this one here. For starters, I want these to look, they're pocket watches, so I want them to be a little bit vintage. So for starters, on the center, I'm going to go grab my cream color, and I'm going to make sure it's sharpened. Now let's zoom you down a little bit. We're going to start here, and I'm going to just do a little bit of very light around the very edge. I just want there to be a little bit of aged kind of color, and I'm going to do that with the cream. I hope everybody is having a great start to your week. We're here midway through the week. I post every Wednesday and every Sunday, in case you weren't sure of my posting schedule. I'm going to do a little bit of the yellow in the center, the cream in the center as well, just kind of where there would be some aging. Trying to make it age a little bit. Okay, that's all I'm going to do there. So that was the Blick Studio cream color. So this first watch, I think we're going to do it in the cool grays. Let me back out just for a second. So the composition of this page is 3 watches. So I don't want gray, gray, and then bronze. I probably want the bronze gold one to be the center one, just so that it kind of offsets. And we'll go with this smaller one being the cool one. So that means I'm going to be pulling out my cool grays. And then I also would say that the silver is more of a cool color than not. So if I am going to be using the silver, I will bring it in on this one. In fact, I may do that right here. And the silver is shiny. So in the areas that I probably would want a little bit more shine is where I would also bring in the silver. So let's just bring in some cool gray 1. And then on areas where the light would be catching and there might be a little bit of reflection, I can use the silver so that there's some reflectiveness there. Go ahead and I'll read our first question, and I'll show on screen the first. Okay, so the first question for our trivia game is, what is London's most famous shopping street called? Oh boy. I mean, I know, you know, if it was America, it would probably be like Rodeo Drive, but it's London. I don't know, like High Street or Hargrove. I've never been to London, so those of you who have been to London, and all my UK viewers, I'm sure you know this one. So I'm gonna have to just guess, and I'm going to say High Street. So I've got this top silver ring done, and I just wanted to show you that when you do move it in light, the metallic silver does show up, and so there is some reflection there. And so that's the silver metallic from Blick Studio, and I'm quite happy with that pencil. Okay, and the answer to what is London's most famous shopping street called, and it is called Oxford Street. And no, I did not know that. So this is cool gray 3. And just going around just going around the entire watch face with this. And I'm using the lighter colors first because I can always darken things up, but it's kind of hard to go the opposite. Keeping a lighter color closest to the face of the watch. Gel pen is what I might come in to do. Like there's obviously down here is hinge for the watch face because the bezel of the glass of the watch will come forward, and this will be, so I'll probably use a gel pen for that. I'm going to come in, and the next is a cool gray 5, and I'm just going to do this area here. And I'm going to blend the cool gray 3, just kind of coming around, because there's already a bunch of hatch marks here. While I'm doing this, the next question in the trivia game is, what color is the S emblem that Superman has on his chest? Oh boy. I haven't watched a Superman show for an awful long time. I'm just trying to think of which one it is. As I come around here, I'm going to go to my lightest gray, which is the cool gray 1. Okay, back to this. So Superman's emblem, I'm going to go yellow, but it's either yellow or red. Those are my two choices, but I only get to have one. So I'm going to say yellow, and let's see. The color is red. Okay, so far, 0 points for Jody. Trivia is a little bit harder today. I'm just coming in with this cool gray 5 and just kind of shadowing in a little bit onto the edge as if there would be a bit of a shadow. So not everywhere, I just don't want there to be any white in between these. So okay, and there isn't going to be a whole lot needed on this. So we got darker on this side, so we're going to go with the 5 here, and then the coolest, the lightest is 1. I'm going to stick with the pencils, and I'm going to do the bottom hinge. And that's it. That's all it takes for that one. So that was the cool grays. And we'll shift the page over a bit. Okay, here we go. Here's this. Now this one has a separate little, this has like the minutes, and then this is the hours, so it has another little area. So I'm going to come in with my cream color like I did before, but this time I'm going to not go into that area. So I'm going to keep outside of there. And this one will be using the warm grays. I'm going to kind of go a little bit around. Now this also has some, I'll just zoom you in a little bit. It's got little hatch marks in between. I'm actually probably going to take, that's where I would want some glinting to happen. So I will take the Stardust Clear Jelly Roll sparkle at the end, and I will put it in those little areas there, because then that'll give it a little bit of glinting, kind of like as if there was inlaid diamonds almost. So yeah, so just lightly bringing in a bit of the color, and that's just to age the watch a little bit. I could also use a light brown, but I just don't have a lot of good light browns. I could bring in a bit of the dark ochre just in a few spots. I'll bring you out a bit so you're not so okay, now we're going to be using our warm grays. So I'm going to again start with my warm gray 1 and go all the way around. And it's pretty light, so you may not even see a big difference on screen, but once it's beside the aged yellow, it will show up more. The Blick Studio pencils don't seem to be overly pigmented, I will say that. And I do need to find a different sharpener because I am having quite a few breakage issues, and I think that's because of my sharpener is no longer as sharp as it needs to be, the blade. It's a handheld one. And the next question is, what sport do you compete in if you participate in America's Cup? And America's Cup is probably sailing. That's going to be my guess. And now we're going to switch to warm gray 2, and I'm going to come back in where the 1 was, and I'm going to just come in a few spots and add a little bit more shadow. And the answer to the trivia question is sailing. So the America's Cup is sailing. So I got that right. Next one we have is warm gray 3. Now when we have a break, so we have all these darker lines here, and then obviously there's a break, I'm going to come in with a lighter gray. All of these warm grays are very light. This is warm gray 5. So let's see if it's a little bit darker. We're going to have it darker on this side than on this side. And just the way the page is set up, I think that would make more sense. So the last question on this card is, all 4 members of the Beatles are from what city? And I think they are from Liverpool. That's the answer I'm giving. The answer is Liverpool. So 2 out of the 4 questions I answered correctly. How did you do? Comment below if you're getting, if you should have known that trivia correct, or if it's stumping you this week as well. Okay, so this is warm gray 3, and I'm coming around, and I want it darker on this side and then lighter on this side. So we've done 5 here, and we're coming around with 3, and then I'm going to come back with my 2. Like a bit of depth, so add a little bit of shading here. I'm going to bring in the silver and add it at the very back. Now that we've got that, warm gray 6. Well, I've got this warm gray 6, which has been my darkest color so far. I'm just gonna come in and do the inside areas where there should be shadow. I'm going to take the warm gray 3. And then the silver, just to add the shiny highlight. I'm just going to do the top and kind of that area there. And right here, it's going to be shiny. Warm gray 5. Make this a bit more dark. Dark on the edges, so that's 5, and then we'll come in and do the lightest, the 1 in the center. We can blend with the 1 and then come in with the darker ones again. Okay, we're going to take the 5 and the 3. So this is a 3. We're just going to color the rest of this in. Alternating between all the different levels of warm gray, just knowing that when I want it to be a little bit darker, just there's lots of grades. Was a warm gray 5, and then I can smooth that out with the 3 and make it a bit more transition. Lines so that when you move the page there will be a little bit of reflectiveness. Stardust, and we're going to put that just where there would be a little bit of glint. Diamonds encrusted on this watch. Let's let that dry. We'll move up to our final watch. Okay, our third watch is going to be the bronze gold one, and so I've shifted the camera again. I'll zoom you in a little bit more. Again, I'll quickly do the aging of the watch, and then we'll be back with our final 4 questions for our trivia game. Okay, now with the gold one, I need to think about where I want the highlights to be, and we're going to look at here and where all the illustrator has done all the hatching. That's going to be a darker area. So this is really about the only area that's going to be super light. So I will reserve my lightest colors for that area. So the lightest colors I have is the golden ochre and also the dark ochre. So just to remind myself what they look like, And this one has a spot. Okay, so there's that. And there's that. And I think I'm going to leave this right in the center. So we're going to have just a little bit of this because it's pretty yellow. And then we'll switch to, so that was the light, that was the gold ochre. Now this is the dark ochre. So I'm working from my highlight area outwards. From there, my other colors that I've got are brown and raw umber. So there's brown, and here's raw umber. So I like the raw umber next. And I'll bring it up and merge right into the dark ochre. Since these aren't my regular pencils, sorry, I'm kind of experimenting with them to get the colors that I want. So this is the dark ochre and I'm just blending it out. Okay, the next question on our, I should have known that. Here's the picture of it. On what day do Christians remember the crucifixion of Jesus? And this is actually a kind of a timely question since we are celebrating Easter this month. So the question is, on what day do Christians remember the crucifixion of Jesus? And that would be Good Friday. This is the raw umber, and I'm carrying it all the way around. And I'm also going to be bringing in the dark ochre and mixing it in. And the answer is Good Friday. So that was correct. So that's one right. Metallic marker here, so I may do that. I'll make sure it's sharp, and I'm going to do the hinges. So this is the dark ochre. Bringing it all the way around. Going to bring in the actual gold metallic and try a little bit over here on the dark side. Okay, got my dog under control again. Maybe. The next trivia question is, what is the name of the set of structures of the brain that controls emotions? I'm going to put that one on screen because that is a hard question to contemplate. And I'm using the gold here all the way around on the basil, or the very edge here, because I think it would be shiny there. And this is a nice pencil. And the answer to that, because I have no clue, do not know enough about the brain to even hesitate giving an answer for that. So I'm gonna call, I definitely don't know that, and that is the limbic system. Okay, yeah, no, that was new to me. Okay, I'm going to bring in the clear Stardust. While I'm doing this, the third question is, who is the cat and who is the mouse in the Tom and Jerry cartoon? I did watch that as a child, so I am saying Tom is the cat and Jerry is the mouse. And looking at the answer, that is correct. Tom is the cat, Jerry is the mouse. Our final question for today is, what country is Samsung from? And I'm going to say China. And the answer actually is South Korea. This one's a fancy watch. Okay, and that'll just sparkle ever so slightly, like there's hardly anything there, but it will kind of accent the page a bit. So let me zoom in. Okay, here we are, and this is how the page has turned out. This is the cool gray, the warm gray, and the gold, the bronze gold. So I think that all three watches turned out good. This is kind of a minimal coloring book, so that's kind of nice. I will do the owl here, probably in some browns to bring in the gold color down. I think I will leave these. These are already a pale gray blue kind of color, so I think I will just leave those as is. I've left those as is on a few other pages, so I think I'll do that. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me today. A summary of our trivia. I got, again, 50%. So I got 4 right out of 8. Comment below how you did out of 8 questions. Today's trivia certainly was a little bit more difficult and did stump me. So I hope you did better than I did, but if not, don't feel bad. I do think that it was a hard trivia today. So until next time, I hope you are doing something creative and colorful. I will see you back here on Sunday. It will be actually St. Patrick's Day. So happy St. Patrick's Day for Sunday. Until then, I do hope you are having a creative and colorful day. Take care. See you next time. Bye-bye.